Angular is a technology that is, of course, completely agnostic to the technology being used on the server. That's one of the wonderful benefits of using HTTP messages in your architecture. You can have JavaScript talk to Python code on the server, or Ruby code on the server, or C# or Java or JavaScript on the server. For building out the demos in this particular application, I did choose an ASP.NET server using Web API controllers, but if that's not your cup of tea, don't worry. For the most part, all your server will need to do is serve static HTML files and static CSS files, mostly the Bootstrap CSS file, and of course we're going to have some JavaScript files. In fact, we'll have quite a few JavaScript files throughout the course. And there's only two sections of this entire course that rely on a dynamic response of any sort from the server. One is a custom username validation. This happens in the form section of the course, and I basically just need an HTTP endpoint that returns true or false. To do that, I'm using a Web API controller to return true if a username is greater than 3 characters. It does this after a 2-second delay. That allows me some time to demonstrate how to show an animation. But you can certainly build something similar with Java or Node or Django. What does require a bit more setup is the OAuth server. This is used in the next module to generate an authorization token that a user needs to see a secret recipe. In my ASP.NET project, I have a controller protected with the authorize attribute. And obviously, if you're not using ASP.NET, you'll need to dig into your platform of choice to figure out how to secure an endpoint and how to generate tokens or cookies if you want to authenticate a user. I know in the world of Node.js, you can just npm install one of several packages that will give you most of the OAuth server functionality that you need. I've used Node OAuth 2 server myself. I can also give you a couple tips for ASP.NET. Specifically, I have a blog post detailing the exact setup that I'm using, which mostly consists of a few Owen components provided by Microsoft and installed as middleware in the application, as well as some custom classes to use not just any type of token, but a JSON web token. And all of this is detailed in the blog post. I would suggest if you go down this road in a real project, you should take a look at ThinkTexture's Identity Server. This is an open source project that provides a lot of flexibility and scalability for your auth needs. It will give you everything that the Microsoft components will give you, plus so many more things. The rest of the application then, it's all HTML and CSS and JavaScript. I'm not going to talk about server technology in the rest of the course. I'm not going to talk about package managers or minification tools or any of the 1,000 other topics in web development. We're going to focus on writing straight up Angular code and look at some strategies, advice, and implementation tips. So let's go to the next module and get started.